The big news in bankruptcy this week comes from New Orleans, where the Fifth Circuit summarily held that companies reorganizing in Chapter 11 cannot compel the Small Business Administration to give them money under what's called the Paycheck Protection Program. This is a big deal because the PPP, in essence, had the federal government giving away money free. Well, what was it all about? At the end of March, Congress enacted what's called the CARES Act. That was that gigantic $2.2 trillion program where the federal government was, and still is, distributing money to keep the economy afloat, although many, if not most businesses in some places, were closed down. The PPP program was part of that, and what it called for was the SBA, Small Business Administration, would make loans to companies. But indeed, they really weren't loans, because if this company were to spend at least 60% of what it received, then the loan would be forgiven. In other words, it was a loan, but it was really free money. The SBA, shortly after the program was enacted, issued regulations which said that any company in Chapter 11 was not entitled to any of this free money under the PPP program. Well, as you can guess, lawsuits erupted everywhere like daisies in the spring. And in about half of the cases, by my rough count, the debtors succeeded in convincing bankruptcy judges that denial of these loans to bankrupt companies was unfair discrimination by the government under Section 525 of the Bankruptcy Code, that is. One of the cases went to the Fifth Circuit on a direct, accelerated appeal, and the Fifth Circuit, in a 3-page opinion, said no. Under a provision of the Small Business Act, the debtors were not entitled to enjoin the SBA to take an action under a program like this. Well, the story is not completely over because there are lots of litigations and appeals elsewhere in the country. But for right now, in the Fifth Circuit, it seems to me, at present to me, that companies in Chapter 11 are not going to be getting their PPP loans. However, there are a lot of very smart lawyers out there representing debtors who are raising all kinds of interesting theories, so the story is not over yet. But, you know, this is all about free money, and the temptation of free money being what it is, we can expect that this litigation is going to continue, at least until the PPP program is over. I am Bill Rochelle, the Editor-at-Large for American Bankruptcy Institute. I will return same time next week with another story of something perhaps equally important. Until then, be well, stay safe, stay home, and take care. Good day.